Hey, this is Dave with the Shepherd School, and I got my wife Jenny here. She's kind of ticked at me because it's like the third time that we've done this, but we've had camera issues. Got the conflicted cards. Like most people, I saw Southern Prepper 1 have these cards and wanted to try them out. So went to the website, looked at them, said, I think this is worthwhile. So we got them. We've been playing with them, and I think that they're useful to get. So it's got some rules, and it's designed to be a card game where you play with a group of people. You sit around the table. Somebody picks a card, reads it to the guy next to him. He answers. Everybody scores. You go around the table. The guy with the high score wins. We don't play it that way. I asked the wife questions. She asked me a question. We sort of figure it out. And what this does is it lets us communicate about some things we probably wouldn't normally talk about, right? Because, if I ask her, would you kill the neighbor over food, right? She's like, what? You're crazy. But if the card asks the question, it gives a little bit of sociological and emotional sort of protection, I guess. Probably not the right word. But it allows you to answer the question, and it's the card that's asking it, not you. So you don't seem to be so crazy, right? And, I like these cards. They're pretty high-quality cards. But I like them because, they're really good if you want to feel somebody out and make sure that they believe the big stuff the same as you. Maybe somebody was going to come to the land and be a caretaker. We're going to work with them for several years. We might sit around, get some cold beer, and play this card game so I can make sure that their morals sort of jive with our morals, right? And so without further ado, I'll ask her a couple questions. She'll ask me a couple questions just so you sort of get a feel of how this works. All right? So, you ready?
Yeah, do something easy.
One more time? Okay. You have your food storage in place. You have 6 months worth of food and water for you and your family. One of your friends comes knocking saying that his home has been ransacked and he has nothing but the clothes on his back and he needs a place to stay. Your friend and his family have very few useful skills, and taking them in would cut down your supply timeline in half. At this time, there's no way you could replenish your supplies without risking your own life in one way or another. Would you open your home and your supplies to your friend and his family or not, and why?
I don't think I could turn them away, so yes, I would. And I know that's not what you would say, but I just don't think I could turn away a close friend. Well, I would sacrifice something so they could have something.
I don't know. I get that all the time. People, I'm coming to your house. I'm not, no, you're not.
Yeah, I've had people at work say that to me too.
Yeah, and you probably like, sure, come on.
Like, come on.
But, 6 months of food for the three of us. He brings his wife and his kid, and now 6 months, 3 months. And then they tell somebody, they come, now we got 1 month. And I don't want the boy to starve, 1 month when he could have lasted 6 months. Maybe we could fix the problem in 6 months, because somebody else didn't take care of theirs. So you can tell him yes, but I'm not letting him in the door.
I'll just let you handle it then. I'll say you got to go through him, and then you can be the bad guy. That'll be the best thing.
Yeah, I see.
All right. Okay, let's do... Okay. You're behind on rent, and now that the electromagnetic pulse went off and the banks aren't open, your landlord came trying to collect. He said either pay up in cash or in goods, or he will evict your family and put them on the street in 3 days with the help of his armed security guards. You are not prepared to bug out at all, and your landlord said if in 3 days you don't have a payment, he will bring armed men to take you out of the house. But right now he's standing in front of you alone. How would you handle this situation? I'm not sure I want to know.
Reminds me of the carry permit, the old scenarios. Is it legal? Would you do it? Two separate issues. Morally wise, he's right, I'm wrong. But, situation is not normal. Not saying it's right, not saying I wouldn't feel bad about it, but I'd probably be like, you threatening me? Whack him in the head with a stick. And if I couldn't bring myself to do that, and that would be a hard thing to do, I'm not going to fight a bunch of armed folks at the house. You know, they shoot the house up. Everybody's in the house. You know, that's risking everybody. What I would probably do is, if they're coming in 3 days, probably in 2 days, I go up the hill over here, you know, hide here in the woods. There's a little hole over there. Probably get the little rifle gun. And when his security guards show up, I'd probably shoot him, because I bet the security guard guys won't fight us if the guy that's paying them ain't there. And if they did want to fight, well, they got to find me and they got to come to me, and that keeps them away from the house.
Okay.
But, you know, you ought to pay your bills.
I agree.
Okay. And that wouldn't happen because I'm part of the Rent Too Damn High party.
Moving on. Are you trying to pick a hard one?
No. How about this? Hunger and starvation has swept over the camp for the past 8 days. You've just been attacked by looters and you managed to kill them all off. They had some weapons but no food. Most of the people in your group are too weak to go on, and there's plenty of human flesh laying around. Would you eat the flesh of your enemies and feed them to your family? Yes or no, and why?
No, I don't think I could not eat a person.
Not even
dead or alive.
Not even with fava beans?
Mm-mm.
I hope you wouldn't eat them alive.
No, I wouldn't. I would not eat a human.
What about with fried green tomatoes as barbecue?
No, sorry.
What if you didn't know? Do you remember the rabbit issue?
I'm not talking about. I don't want to talk about.
This is good chicken. This is good chicken. It's rabbit, babe. Oh, this is chicken.
You're on thin ice.
It's rabbit. Yes, read
but
the
no,
label.
The answer to the question, I don't think I could not eat a human.
Well, good, because I don't think I could keep you around if you ate people.
Okay, well, good.
We'll shoot them over evicting us, but we're not going to eat them. All right, here you
go. I'm sorry. It's way past my bedtime. Okay. All right, I'm just going to go.
You got me on it. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry. You work third shift. I don't. So I should be asleep by now. Okay. Out of all the conspiracies in the world today, name 2 conspiracy theories that you believe in that other people may think are crazy. Briefly explain why you believe them to be true.
Okay, so there's these reptilian people that have taken over the house. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Matter of fact, I spend a lot of time trying to debunk them. You know, people are always like, "Oh, you work for, you know, the government. What about FEMA and the prison camps?" I'm like, the one you're talking about's a juvenile prison. It's not a freaking FEMA death camp. But anyway, I guess 2 things that I believe that most people think is nuts. I'm not going to say it's a conspiracy because these guys can't pay their taxes and not get caught. They can't cheat on their taxes and not get caught. Keep their affairs out the news. I don't really think there's global conspiracies, but I do think that somebody's cooking the books. You know, they keep saying that our official debt level isn't rising, but our treasury bonds are still being printed, right, issued. So, you know, if you're borrowing money, but you say that the amount of money you borrow isn't changing, then I think that's a lie, right? I can come and tell you that our mortgage is $80,000, but if I got a second mortgage on it, then I'm lying to you, am I not? So I think there's a good case that it's highly possible that we're going to have a big economic collapse, which isn't the question, but it's something that I think and people think I'm nuts for. The other one, not a birther, because I really don't, at this point, I don't think the issue is where he was or was not born. I think that there is some fraud there, and I think that they're hiding something, but I will stipulate, you know, that he was born in Hawaii, because I can't prove he's not, okay? But what I do find interesting, and I don't think he's hiding his birth certificate because he was born in Kenya. I think he's hiding his birth certificate so he doesn't want to open the floodgates to his other documents, or maybe his daddy isn't who he says his daddy is. But I do think that he got, our president, person in office, got elected, and I think that he paid his way through college saying he was a foreign student. I think he got aid by claiming to be a foreign student. And in his book, if you've read it, he very clearly talks about going to Pakistan. You start looking at Pakistan at the time, and they weren't letting Americans in, I think he traveled on a foreign passport. I think he kept a foreign passport. I think it's very obvious that he forged his selective service papers. And I think that there's something in his background that would make him ineligible. Maybe not his birth certificate, but maybe the fact that he's a felon, right? But, people say that, you're like, oh, you're a birther, you don't like him because of whatever. I don't like him because he's a crook. I don't like him because he hates America. But you didn't come to listen to that. So I don't talk about conspiracy theories because, Next.
Another one?
I don't know. Do you want to do another one?
I'll ask you another one. Okay. All right, I'm going to close my eyes and pick one. All right, you ready?
No.
No. No.
She's closing her eyes. She's osmosis.
Okay. Let's do this one. You didn't listen and you didn't prepare. All hell broke loose and you don't have enough ammo, food, or water. There's chaos on the streets and open looting is going on. No one who you turn to as far as friends and family would take you or your family in. Would you become a criminal to provide for your family and join the looters or not? If the answer is no, how would you survive?
The wing of a prayer. I don't believe in planning to be dirty. I don't plan on planning to break the law. There's a difference between taking stuff to survive, I guess, scavenging than looting. And it's playing with words, but I wouldn't be a bandit. I wouldn't be a bandit. I might get involved in the black market. I might get involved in smuggling. I might do stuff that is shady in today's world, but I'm not going to go knock on somebody's door and take their stuff.
I see what you
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to lose what makes me me. Right? That's actually why we prepare, because I know what I would do so the boy's not hungry, and I don't want to do it. So I buy wheat. You can't buy 22s anymore. Can't buy them.
I can't buy new shoes because you want to go buy wheat.
So here it is. I think it's pretty useful. As I said before, they're relatively inexpensive. $14, I think, for these cards. And the conversations they engender are pretty priceless. So I recommend getting them, at least somebody in your group getting them. And as I said before, maybe not the funnest game or the most fun game to sit around on a weekend and play, but the conversations, I think, are vital, right? So I think it's pretty useful. As a matter of fact, we don't really talk about anything of importance unless we're playing this, do we?
No.
I'm in the doghouse a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it tends to turn into a blow-up argument.
So I'm in the doghouse. I'm in the doghouse now. Okay. Well, we appreciate it. We hope that's useful. Until next time, you catch us online, www.tnguide.com.